Hey everybody, it's Baker. Name of the show, Tomorrow's Dream. We do it right here every Monday from noon to 2 on KBF 88.3 FM. Got that brand new coach light here with primordial poetry. Crank it up.
all gone. So sick of saying hold on, hold on. A broken state, shaking the ground beneath, running from everything. Seems to be the path I lead. Now I'm beating on the floor, wondering why I feel like a ticking time bomb. Time bomb, always seem to get the time wrong. Time wrong, I blow up and then they're all gone, all gone. So sick of saying hold on, when I'm trying. I took a shot, hoping I never change. I wonder why I'm always broken. Stuck in time just like I'm frozen, frozen. Now I'm slowly thinking, a product of overthinking again. Hold it in and change my breathing. Settle down and stop repeating amends. I feel like a ticking time bomb. Time bomb, always seem to get the time wrong. Time wrong, I blow up and then they're all gone, all gone. So sick of saying hold on, when I'm trying. I feel like a ticking time bomb.
All right, go for gold there. Brand new stuff from them, Time Bomb. And right before that, you heard that brand new Coach Light, Primordial Poetry. Once again, my name is Baker. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will be hosting you for this first hour. Name of the show is Tomorrow's Dreams from noon to 2 every Monday. Tune in for local, heavy, what's happening this week in and around your town. Chad's got you for the second hour, so stay tuned all the way till 2 o'clock. He's going to be telling you about a couple of other shows going on this weekend. My entire hour, the rest of it is going to be devoted to the Pride Metal Fest that's going on this weekend up in Fayetteville. More details in a bit. Actually, that's pretty much it. I can't tell you where it's at or how many dollars. Friday and Saturday evening, though, huge event going on at a pizza place in Fayetteville. You know the one. So all the rest of these bands are going to be playing up there. First half on Friday, second half on Saturday, roughly. I found everybody except for... There's a band called Vestige that's apparently out of El Dorado, not the former Little Rock band. I couldn't find any music from them, but here's literally everyone else you can catch playing this weekend at the Pride Metal Fest up in Fayetteville. We're going to start it off with the newest release from I the Killer. Here they go with Slasher, KBF Tomorrow's Dream, voice of the people.
Sorry, I'll be human and run. Another terror for you, for me.
Mortalis with their Metallica cover of Motor Breath. Before that was an instrumental track from Fayetteville's Kamikaze called Genesis. And right now you're going to hear a really cool one from Chicago's Hostages. This is Haunted by Memory, KBF Tomorrow's Dream. Nashville's Nails in Your Coffin. And let's see, A Snake's Nest in the Garden of Eden. We got some Render and Arisen Fall up next, kicking off the day 2 festivities. But first, here's Chicago's Beheading the Icon, BTI style, KBF. Tomorrow's Dream. Voice of the people.
You can't Desperation is your warning sign. Whatever ever lasts until we die. This mental space is on my mind. It wakes me up to life. I try to flee from my conscious mind. I hope this torture ends another night. Save me,
Dirt Mother with None Would Name It. Did some By Morning before that with Antrim, which is a great movie, by the way. Go check out the flick Antrim if you can, if you got a strong stomach for gore movies. Ghost Hollow before that with Unspoken, and Arisen Fall prior to that with Next to the Ghost. Open that little block up with Self-Righteous from Render. One of those apparently was a previous request. Our station manager Charles just came in and told Chad that somebody had called in and requested one of those songs that we played, and I didn't get the message, but happy accident there. So thanks for the call. Always please do that. Let us know what you want to hear. I got maybe time for two more. Actually, not quite, because the only Power Tool Ninja song that exists is super long, so I think I've been having to cut off the end of it the last couple times, so this time I'm gonna cut off the beginning and give you like the last 5 minutes of it. And then after that, we'll do one from Zetabyte. They are coming up from Texas, I believe, to play that Pride Fest this weekend up in Fayetteville at the Pete's Place, Friday and Saturday. Go check it out. Stick around for the second hour. Chad's got a couple more shows to tell you about. I think they're all going on this weekend. The only thing I know about this week is the Ron Robinson. Well, tomorrow is showing Final Destination, 7 p.m. Fun stuff. Go check that out. All right now is Power Tool Ninja Synesthesia, KBF. Real quick before I forget, house show at my place in 2 weeks from the Saturday that just passed, June 21st, 7 p.m., 723 Wright Avenue. Right down the street, you can catch Fred, We Do Not Belong Here, and Troy Bennett's Graveyard Lips. It's a benefit for the station. Come check it out. Stick around.
Serving Arkansas, this is Community Radio, KABF 88.3 FM.
This is Wade Rathke with the Daily Voice of the People News Bulletin. Top coronavirus vaccine advisor at the CDC resigned because federal health officials rescinded long-standing recommendations to immunize children and pregnant women. 22 million low-income children would be denied the full child care credit under the House bill. 17 million receive no additional help from the House bill, and 5 million receive only part of the $500 increase. Researchers have found excluded from the maximum aid included 65% of children with single mothers, 51% of black children, 44% of Latino children, and 40% of children in rural areas, all because working parents are not earning enough money. Trump and Elon Musk are hurling threats at each other about items both important and mundane, with Trump threatening to terminate Musk's company's government contracts. Prosecutors accused Sheriff Marcos Lopez of Osceola County, Florida, of protecting a gambling ring that made about $22 million across at least 2 Central Florida counties. A legal battle has erupted over Margaritaville Jimmy Buffett's $275 million estate between his widow and its accountant, seeking to remove each other as co-trustees of a trust. Millions of Obamacare enrollees would lose health coverage under the Republicans' major policy bill, which would make coverage more expensive and harder to obtain. Health Secretary Kennedy declared that he wanted to expand access to experimental therapies, but conceded they could be risky or fraudulent. Israel has been arming a Palestinian militia in Gaza as part of a broader effort to fight Hamas. Netanyahu acknowledged that the country had been working with clans in Gaza. Jonathan Hall, a British government advisor, said in an interview that hostile states were paying local criminals to carry out acts of violence, espionage, and intimidation. The TIPS exemption applies only to the federal income tax. Workers would still owe payroll taxes, like the 6.2% Social Security tax, on their tipped income, and maybe state income taxes on their tips as well, depending on the state. Roughly 37% of tip workers already don't owe any federal income tax, according to estimates from the Budget Lab. Voice of the People Daily Bulletin presents People's News about action on issues that demand action. This is Wade Rathke, and this bulletin is brought to you thanks to Acorn International, United Labor Unions Local 100, Social Policy Magazine, and the affiliated Media Foundation Movement, AM/FM.
September 17, 2022 has been designated as Arkansas National Dance Day. There will be an event at Capitol Plaza on the corner of Main Street and Capitol. The event is from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. There will be food, fun, and entertainment for the whole family. Dance has many benefits for healthy living. This event is free and open to the public. Commemorated by Arkansas State Representative Denise Enid. For more information, go to Arkansas National Dance Day Facebook page. Come celebrate Arkansas National Dance Day September 17th at 4 p.m. in Capitol Plaza.
Hello, this is Mark Hurst, the host of Tectonic, covering our shift to a digital future, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. here on KABF 88.3 Little Rock. Tectonic is my talk show exploring how technology is affecting all of us. Through my interviews of authors and journalists, I'm spotlighting the risks posed by big tech platforms and what we can do about it. Join me on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. right here on KABF Little Rock.
and you'll meet us dancing on the mist, strangled by a melody, one you can't read. What a beautiful day, together forever. You wish we never met. You see, there's something left, a minor chord to sever and hide inside your head. Is it murder, murder? They called it murder. As our cannon closes, we'll finally slip away. Lovers in a silhouette, too earnest to decay, choking back our love yous, fingers digging in. If I can't have you, no one can. Let this end begin. What a beautiful day, together forever. You wish we never met. You see, there's something left, a minor chord to sever and hide inside your head. Is it murder, murder? Is it murder, murder? They called it murder. Oh pain, oh pain, oh pain, oh shame, oh shame, what a shame. Blood stains my name, my black name. Oh fate, oh fate.
All right. It is the second hour of the Tomorrow's Dream radio show. This is Chad here with you. We started the show off with a Lola Gadget song called Jigsaw. That's one of their, what I would call a math grunge kind of song. I love that kind of stuff. I liked it when they did that. And then I followed it up with 3 bands that are playing a show together here in Little Rock on Friday night at some venue that's kind of famous for their rock and roll chicken. And the first band was the Dead Deads from Nashville, and then after that you heard Valley of the Sun, and then that last song was from Mammoth Caravan, one of our best local bands in my opinion. And I like their new album a lot. It's quite a shake-up. Their guitar player quit, and then the drummer switched over to the guitar, and then they got another drummer, and they still sound amazing. I think it might be better. I don't know, but anyway, that's what we started off with today. And next, I'm going to tell you about a show on Saturday night, also here at Little Rock. There's 6 bands playing. That sounds like a lot, and it is, but it says on the event page on Facebook, and you'll have to look that up to get better details about where it is. But it's supposed to run from 5 p.m. to 8:45. So they're planning on getting through 6 bands pretty quickly. And there's going to be Pool, Trafficking Melodies, Done for the Weekend, Crisco Kids, Aloof, and Burning Genesis. And I have all 6 of those lined up in that order. And we're going to start it off right now with a song called Zed by Pool. And you heard that right here on the Tomorrow's Dream radio show on 88.3, Voice of the People.
So tonight there's a price I'll have to pay, and I'll say all the things I couldn't say. When we're through with all these games we always play, I'll break. We're still standing when the morning comes. Push on through and try to make it right. Without you, I won't see the morning's light. straight and think about. I'm not allowed to, there's no answer. I'm afraid of what's to come that can explain. So tell me why you listen anyway. And I have nerves. They're being eaten by the worms in my arms, in my eyes, in my heart, and I can't explain. So I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid. Oh, we are alone. It's pretty scary. Oh, we are alone. I have words. They're being eaten by the thoughts behind my eyes, and know it all or assume there's nothing left, and I project that all is lost and can't be found unless I really try. And I'm ashamed to agree with what you say, cause I believe you can't explain it anyway. But truly, what you say, and I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid. Oh, we are alone. It's pretty scary. Oh, we are alone.
All families are different, and some have parents or children with little to no eyesight. But this doesn't stop them from sharing the work, play, love, and laughter of family life. Eyesight doesn't define a parent, a child, or a family. What counts is being together. Want to learn more? Visit us on the web at blind.org. The National Federation of the Blind. Live the life you want.
Picture a door. On it, a sign that says, "Do not look." Every instinct says danger, but still you peek. Inside, a room full of cockroaches, which can trigger asthma attacks, rodents that contaminate food and transmit disease, and termites which cause billions in property damage each year. Trust your instincts, know the signs. Learn how to protect your family and home at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
It's a time of tremendous uncertainty for everyone, but some things haven't changed. Stomach cancer is still a leading cause of cancer death worldwide. More than 1 million people will be diagnosed this year alone, and it's vital to know your risks and learn ways to prevent it. It's also critical for cancer patients to protect themselves from all viruses. No Stomach for Cancer encourages you to listen to medical experts to understand your risks. Find out more about COVID-19 at cancer.gov and learn more about your risks for stomach cancer at nostomachforcancer.org.
Caring for a child under 5 isn't always easy, but getting support can be. If you're pregnant, a new mom, or looking after a child under 5, the WIC program is here to help. WIC provides healthy food, nutrition advice, breastfeeding support, and even referrals to healthcare and community services, all at no cost to you.
WIC helped me stretch my grocery budget and taught me how to make mealtime easier and healthier for my kids.
WIC is for working families, single parents, grandparents, real people just like you. Find out if you qualify and enroll today. Contact your local county health unit or call 1-800-235 0002. Because when families are supported, everyone grows stronger. This message is brought to you by the Arkansas Hunger Relief Alliance and the Blue and You Foundation for a Healthier Arkansas.
right, I got one more show to talk about happening on Saturday night in Fort Smith. And there's going to be Enter Oblivion, Angel Flesh, Five Body Blade, and Grappling. I got Enter Oblivion and Angel Flesh on my list coming up next. And then after that, I'm going to play Fingers of Damnation, Buckshot Princess, and see what else I have time for today. But that's pretty much wrapping it up for today. And yeah, that's what I got. So this next song, this is Mind Mangler by Enter Oblivion on 88.3, the voice of the people.
My useless hope, my mind is going, I'm afraid, my mind is going, I'm afraid, hold on, nowhere to stay, oh grave, oh where is your victory? To solitude's rage, caught in search of a lifeless crafting. My mind's coming, no longer afraid. My mind's coming, no longer afraid. Hold on, nowhere to stay. Oh grave, oh where is your victory?
You're listening to KABF 88.3 FM in Little Rock, the voice of the people.